Assalamu alaikum. I'm here again with our topic Pakistan movement. Last time we have studied about the Khilafat movement. Today we will continue this particular topic. Topic we will start today will be Delhi Muslim proposals March 1927. Important Muslim leaders on the initiative of Qaeda met in Delhi to discuss the constitutional and political issues. He asked the Muslims to make the major demands which they basically wanted to make in front of the British government. A group of the people basically met with the Jawaharlal Nehru and Motilal Nehru in the Delhi, and they basically presented proposals in front of Mr. Motilal Nehru to basically add those proposals in the Nehru report he was going to formulate in 1928. So the suggestions which were made by those group of people were following: Punjab and Bengal's statutory Muslim majorities, no weightage in provinces, Sindh to be the separate from Bombay, constitutional reforms in NWFP, one-third seats for Muslims in central legislature. On communal issues, no law will be passed if three-fourths members of the concerned committee oppose it. If these demands are accepted, they will give up the right for the separate electorate, and subsequently the Muslim League was divided in the Punjab, Shafi League and Jinnah League. Sir Muhammad Shafi opposed Jinnah on the issues like separate electorate, attitude toward the Simon Commission. Jinnah continued his unremitting efforts to promote Hindu-Muslim unity. Like till 1927, Jinnah wanted that like or wanted to promote the Hindu-Muslim unity. He basically wanted that Hindus and Muslims basically joined on the same platform, and they basically present their proposal in front of the British government that they must accept their all the proposals. Because of all these proposals, there were some Muslim leaders who basically denied these particular facts, and they have an argue with Mr. Jinnah on the right of the separate electorate, and many other political parties were formulated on this particular matter. So in 1928, Mr. Nehru basically presented that report. The main objective was the constitutional proposal for the Indian Constitution. The British government asked the people of the subcontinent to make a constitutional proposal because in past whatever they have formulated for the people of the subcontinent, that was a huge failure. The Congress called all parties conference, which appointed 10 members committee in May 1928 under the chairmanship of Motilal Nehru and secretaryship of Jawaharlal Nehru. The recommendations which were made by this particular report were following, and it is basically right to mention that these recommendations were the one which basically threatened the interest of the Muslims in the subcontinent. They basically mentioned that there will be no separate electorate, no one-third seats for Muslims in the Central Assembly, no reservation of seats for Muslims in Punjab and Bengal. In Hindu majority province, the Muslims may be given seats according to the population. Sindh to be made a province if it can bear its expenses. Balochistan and WFP were accepted to be given constitutional status on the certain conditions, and Qaidazam tried to get amendments in the report in all the party conference in Kolkata, but he didn't get succeeded. This was the very important movement when Jinnah remarked it is parting of the way. He presented the 14 points as a Muslim leader later. So basically, this was the point where Qaidazam basically realized that maybe this is the point where they will, where there he won't be able to work on the Hindu-Muslim unity in the future. Jinnah's 14 points 1929. What were those 14 points? All of us knows I'm going to read them for you people for once. Federal system with residuary powers with the provincial autonomy, separate electorate for Muslims, effective representation to minorities in the province, but the majority shouldn't be reduced to minority. One-third representation of Muslims in central legislature, one-third Muslim representation in cabinets, no change in the boundaries of the Punjab, Bengal that would adversely affect Muslim majority, religious freedom to all, no law will be passed if three-fourths elected members of the community declare that it is against their interest, since to be made a separate province, constitutional reforms in the NWFP and Balochistan, Muslim representations in the government, constitutional safeguard for Islamic culture and civilization, education, language, personal laws, Muslim institutions, government should provide financial assistance. No constitutional amendment unless all the constituent units of the federation agree to it. These were 14 points which were presented by Jinnah for the proposal of the Indian constitution. Then they held the roundtable conferences. The both, as we have already discussed, that the British government was not able to make any kind of constitution. So basically, they have asked the All India Muslim League or all the political parties of the subcontinent, local political parties of the subcontinent, to maintain a constitution. But they were not able to basically together on a single page to make a constitution. Nehru presented its own report. Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah presented his own 14 points. So lately, to resolve this matter, roundtable conferences were organized by the British government. The first session of the conference was held in 1930, where a number of prominent leaders were like Muhammad Ali Jinnah, Sir Shafi, Maulana Muhammad Ali Johar, Zafrullah Khan participated. They emphasized federalism, self-government, safeguards for minorities, separate electorate, provincial representation in central legislature, secured majorities in Punjab and Bengal. But this conference wasn't a successful conference because it totally failed. Maulana Muhammad Ali, then second conference held in 1931. Maulana Muhammad Ali Johar had been died already, who was the part of the first conference. Iqbal Jinnah and other participated in the second conference. Gandhi represented the Congress. The key issues of the session were federation and the minorities. But at the end, even this conference was a failure. Then third roundtable conference was held in 1932. The main issues had been discussed in the first two conferences and now the rest of them were to be discussed. It was poorly attended conference. Quaid-e-Azam didn't participate despite living in the London. Gandhi didn't attend as he had been detained. So the conference brought no change in the party position and widened the Hindu-Muslim gulf. Then Government of India Act 1935. So at the end, Government of British government have decided to present an act in 1935 for the constitutional process in the subcontinent. This basic act was approved by the king in August 1935. Despite these efforts, the communal problems couldn't be settled as satisfactory to the nations living in India, particularly the Muslim. Therefore, the key issues remain unchanged. Hindu-Muslim relations, they remained that tight. They were not good relations. There was the failure to arrive at settlement. Both the nations don't want any kind of settlement or don't want to basically compromise on their rights. Muslim demand the transmuted from safeguarding rights to complete independence, and at the end they were able to maintain or establish a state that is known as Pakistan. In 1930, Allama Iqbal's presidential address. If the Muslims have an opportunity to develop in accordance with their Islamic civilization and tradition, they would be willing to sacrifice their life for India. He basically wanted a Muslim majority government or the participation of Muslims in the government to the best extent. Federalism can be succeeded with recognizing the national identity of the Muslims. Territorial redistribution of British India on the basis of religion has become a need of time. He basically wanted Punjab, NWFP, Sindh, and Balochistan to be amalgamated into a state and self-government within the British Empire or without it. He basically wanted to create the self-government in all these provinces under the supervision of the British government or without the supervision of the British government. He basically wanted to promote Islam as he considered that Islam is a people building force in India that has given moral consciousness and political identity to the people of the subcontinent. Later, to basically, we can say, to make a mark on the Pakistan movement, the Lahore Resolution was passed, where basically it was decided that federal system under the Government of India Act 1935 is not acceptable for the Muslims of the subcontinent because there is no majority of the Muslims at the governmental level. No revised constitutional plan would be acceptable until or unless it will be framed or approved with the consent of the Muslims of the subcontinent. Adjacent units with Muslims are in majority as the northwest and east should be constituted as the independent states where the constitution will be autonomous and sovereign. It was basically suggested that in the Lahore resolution that Punjab, Sindh and NWFP, all of these areas with Muslim majority must be made as the independent state with a sovereign government, and they will be responsible for their own constitution, and ultimately they will be autonomous for their decisions. So protection of minorities should be given, was considered as a priority. So to mark it like right, in 3rd June, plan of 3rd June 1947 was signed by the British government. British government wasn't able to manage or wasn't able to rule the subcontinent in a right way. So they basically decided to not impose a constitution, but the Constituent Assembly will frame the constitution. The constitution, they basically decided that now the state will be divided into the two parts. One will be a Muslim majority state and other will be a Hindu majority state. They basically decided that both will be free to make their constitution. Constitution will be not imposed on the areas that don't accept it. Opinion will be sought from them if they wanted to set up a separate CA, means Constitution Assembly. Punjab and Bengal Assembly will meet in two parts, members from Muslim majority areas and other districts separately to decide if the province be partitioned. If any part decided for partition, each group will decide which constitutional assembly they wanted to join. Sindh Assembly will decide about the joining either side of the Muslim majority or the Hindu majority. So Indian Independence Act was signed in July. Two independent dominant states will be established on August 14, 1947. Basically, the states were divided officially on August 15, 1947, but Pakistan wanted to celebrate its own Independence Day on a different day. So Pakistan basically celebrated its Independence Day on 14th of August 1947. Their legislature will have all the powers to make laws for the respective states, and ultimately there will be no influence of the British government at all. Government of Indian Act 1935 to be introduced as the interim constitution of both the dominant states, and no change due to the Indian Independence Act 1947. Governor Generals can be amend the interim constitution until March 31, 1948. That Governor Generals will be the head of those particular dominant states, and ultimately they will be able to amend the interim constitution until March 1948. All arrangements between the British and the princely states to come to an end, and they will have new arrangements with the new states. British king will no longer use the title of the King of India, because ultimately both of these states are going to be the separate state, and now the head of these states will be the Governor General. This is the end of the slides. Pakistan was formulated in or established on 14th of August 1947. In next lectures, we will study about uh, basically uh, after independence survival, or the things which were faced by the government after the independence. Thank you so much. See you in the next lecture.